Hey, this is King Cobra. Hey, listen to us live with Wolfie D.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Welcome once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D and my man Jimmy across the street. Jimmy, what do you got going on today?
What is it? Wasted days and wasted nights. Yeah. Anyway, no, I'm just like I'm in the underworld, man. I'm like under. Yeah, I'm night is my day and day is my night.
That is true. That is true. I've noticed that lately. We kind of switched roles in that, where I was having trouble going to sleep and I was up till 5, 6 in the morning, and now I'm going to bed at 12 or 1, and I'm getting up a little bit early, working on my top secret artwork.
Yeah.
Man, it's tedious though. Good Lord, it's tedious,
dude. I'm just saying. This project that we're super secret about is gonna blow some minds.
It could be really cool. It's just like I said, it's tedious, man. It's not fucking AI. That's what it's not. Let me get on a roll about that.
Oh,
Let me tell you how much a real artist cannot stand AI. AI artwork. Like, I mean, AI is cool. Hey Siri, tell me about blah blah blah. That's one thing. But AI artwork, especially when people try to pass it off as like real artwork, is bullshit to me. And you know, the other thing that really pisses me off is these morons that cannot tell the difference between an AI photo. Well, it's not even a photograph. An AI girl,
rendering, whatever.
Yeah, an AI. Good, thank you. An AI rendering of a beautiful chick, scantily clad, and a real woman. And you got I shouldn't say that. You got these foreign people that are usually, oh, beautiful lady, I love you in my dreams, and all the corny bullshit they say. And I'm just like, are you serious? She's got 10 fingers on one hand.
Yeah, she's good. I was going to say that. That's so funny. Oh,
that's the first thing you look at. A lot of times the fingers are messed up, or the words on the, like say it's a basketball jersey. It'll be all jacked up and it'll look like a Nike jersey, but it's not. It don't even make sense what it says if you look close, but they're not looking at that. They're looking at the BOWTIE or something like that, and the pretty face. But it's AI, people. Wake the fuck up, man. Like, seriously. But anyway, AI pisses me off when it comes to artwork and people trying to pass it off as real artwork. That's not artwork, man. That's bullshit. That's what that is. Coming from somebody that's sitting here, for over the past hour or so, I've been working on something that I can't really say a whole lot of this, but man, it's tedious when you're doing it right. But anyway, there's my rant.
I love it, man. When they have the word @live Wolfie D tattooed on one hand across the knuckles, you know that it's AI. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm serious. Like, it is kind of ridiculous that, and I do, okay, like you're a pro wrestler, right? But you've also, you're an artist as well. But what I mean by that is, like, this has also been kind of like, the side hustle that's kind of turned very important for you in your latter part of your career. I mean, I know art has always been important to you, but what I mean is that was not your predominant money source or whatever. And can you imagine a graphic designer who sees all this AI stuff? Like, I mean, and you're hot about it and I'm hot about it, and I can't draw two sticks together. You know what I mean? But seriously, man, can you imagine how the graphic designers feel? Like,
for sure, man. Because I pretty much consider myself that. And you know me, I can do art across multiple mediums, man.
Sure.
And and there's certain ones that AI cannot do, but there are, like, just like with the wood burning I was doing, they got machines that can do it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just like, man, nah, man. If it's real artwork, you do it with your hand, man.
Right.
You do it with your hand.
Do it with your hand.
But anyway, and you were talking about wrestling and artwork and stuff. You know, wrestlers are very multi-talented. If you have not noticed that, very many wrestlers can do multiple things, man.
Yeah.
I always think that's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, dude. I love.
Talented.
Yeah. I mean, like Road Dogg can sing his butt off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, there's Dirty White Boy can actually be a plumber. Like,
plumber.
You know what I mean? There's so many, and I know that's not like an artistic.
No, he's a hell of a hunter.
He's a hell of a hunter. Yeah. He's the one, you know, when the world goes down, I'm going near Knoxville and trying to find DWB because at least I know he might throw me a hoof or something to eat on.
For sure, man, for sure.
You know, but.
Well, man, I'm looking forward to today's episode. Somebody that last time I saw him was at Jerry Jarrett's funeral.
Okay.
Cobra.
Yeah.
Last time I saw him, somebody that I worked with early on in my career. And you know, he worked for Buddy Wayne a lot. And, you know, I never sat down and really talked to Cobra and found out everything about him. So today we're going to get a chance to do that. I'm excited about that. Cobra's, I think he's like 73, been around a long time, but you couldn't tell that he was 73 by looking at him or listening to him. So
no, I mean, he's a Memphis staple, right? I mean,
yeah,
you know,
man, for sure.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So this ought to be a really cool conversation, something different. And I hope everybody stays around through the break, and we'll come back and we'll talk to Cobra, and it will not be AI Cobra.
All right, after these messages.
Before history is written, it's played. Before it's frozen in time, it's fought one shift at a time. Before it's etched in silver, it's carved in ice. What happens next will last forever. The Stanley Cup Final on ABC and ESPN Plus begins Saturday.
Hey folks, to get your official Live It in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, we're back, folks. And are you ready to rock and roll? Oh, Jimmy.
Yes.
Are you ready to rock and roll? Whoa. I'm doing my best Paul Stanley for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
We got a great guest on here today. He's been around for a long, long time, y'all. He's been up and down the roads and all in between. I'd like to introduce you to my friend, King Cobra. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. How about you guys?
I'm doing all right, man. Bro, I have known you since 1993, but the thing is, I don't really know you. I've never had the opportunity to sit down with you and talk, or I don't even think me and you have ever made a trip together.
No, we ain't.
I know, man.
But I'm not gonna hold that against you. But you know, from what I hear, it's probably best that I didn't make a trip with you.
You exactly right. You probably saved yourself some heartache or some trouble or something, man.
Pain, blues, and agony.
It beats the alternative ride with Jamie, though. You probably made some trips with Jamie, though, didn't you?
Okay.
You ever made a trip with Jamie before?
No. Hey, he sound like another one that I'm probably blessed that I did.
It's way worse than me, I promise. Way worse. I actually know how to control myself around depending on what company I'm around. But so Cobra, man, let's go back in time here. Let's talk about you as a kid, man. What made you start liking wrestling?
I don't know. I saw it when I was I just watched it on TV back in the day when I was, just a kid, and I said I would never want to be a wrestler because the way the guy was wrestling and the way it looked and stuff like that. But then I grew up until I was 15. I lived in Mississippi, but I'm not gonna hold that against wrestling though. But it just was a thing that you saw back then, and I came to Memphis That was in 1963, and my relatives that I came to stay with, they was taking me around to see different things, and I had never seen a live wrestling match, so we went out to Ellis Auditorium, and I saw it. So I was 15 years old. Kenny is a bean sort, and when the match was over and we got back, that was the first time I had been around that many people in one place at the same time, and it was just exciting.
Yeah.
But there were some big guys out there. Yeah. I'll never forget it. And two of the biggest guys that was out there was the Von Stroheim. Okay. Von Stroheim. And so when we were leaving, I was telling them, I said, boy, that's what I want to be. I want to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Me being 135, 40 pounds, they're like, yeah, you're too little to be a wrestler. You can never be a wrestler. So I've always had the determination that if somebody tells me that I can't do something, I'm going to do it just to show them that I can.
Right.
So, I started reading magazines and found out they had a wrestling magazine, and I did that, and so I needed to put on some weight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a store in Memphis called York Arms. I went out and bought me a set of weights and started working out, and then I found out where the wrestling match was by myself because I wasn't from Memphis. And every Monday night I would go down and buy a ticket and go to the matches and worked out, and the more people say I was too little, the more I was determined to make it.
Yeah.
And so and behold, I wasn't too little by the time I got through working out, and I made it.
Yeah.
So before we go further on that, did you have any kind of like a sports and athletic background, like in school or Little League or anything like that?
No.
None at all, huh?
No, none at all.
Man, it seems so natural.
I went to school in rural Mississippi, and it was a church school,
Oh, okay.
Church on Sunday, and we cleared it out and put the desk and thing out for Monday through Friday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Didn't have a gymnasium or nothing, just one building.
Yeah.
I went from the 1st to the 5th grade, and there was 2 teachers in there, and we taught both sides. One taught 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, the other taught whole 5th, and it went to the 6th grade. So
no athletic. And then, so how old are you when you find somebody to train you?
Oh, I guess I was probably 21, 22 years old, something like that.
And who was it?
Al Spider Galento.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so how did that go? How did you find them? How was the first meeting? How did it explain all that?
Okay, well, I had just gotten married. My wife, she liked wrestling. Well, no, let me back up. So I had gotten married, working and stuff, and I was tired. I was, working out a little bit. Mm-hmm. At the time, I still wasn't going to the gym, but I was working out at home. Mm-hmm. And so I went in the military.
Okay.
And so when I got back, seeing some friends wanted to go to the wrestling match, and I didn't want to go. Because when I was in the military, I was still training. I would go to the gym every day and working out. Tell guys I'm going to be a wrestler. They were all kidding me. I too little. So there was one Monday she wanted to go to the wrestling match, and I didn't really want to go, but she wanted to go, so I said, okay, so we go to the wrestling match. I get down there, and so we're sitting up there. I'm sitting there with my hand on my fist, resting my chin, kind of, because I really didn't want to be there. And the people in front of me, the guy came and sat down. They had a wrestling program, and I hadn't been to a wrestling match in a couple of years, in the military. But anyway, so when I looked down, and we were flipping the pages, and when you flipped it over on the backside, and it had, so you want to be a wrestler. Mm-hmm. Come to Al Galento's wrestling school. And I saw that, and I didn't ask him to let me see it, and I jumped up then. I said, I'll be right back. And she said, what? And I went down to the concession stand and bought me a program so I could get that address, and it was at 2577 Broad Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So the very next day, I called him, and he told me, I go out. At that time, I'm weighing about 165.
Really?
So he said, okay. But see, Al taught you collegiate style wrestling,
Right.
It didn't matter about he was an Olympic, in the Olympics. And he would teach stuff. So we started training, and he would teach you just basic stuff. You didn't do leapfrog and all that kind of stuff. It was just, one guy get on the bottom, one guy get on the top.
And wrestle, yeah.
165 pounds, and and got some military in the end. So I'm just determined, I'm going to make it. So there was some big guys. There was a guy there, the biggest guy we had weighed about 375 soaking wet. So, but I was worried, and I could beat everybody in the class.
Yeah.
I think I'm stud, but, and so he got Billy Weeks to come by and worked out with us some days, and Billy Weeks, he's one of the old legends from back in that.
Yeah.
Stuff. So Billy always said that I was going to be a good guy. So I could just go in, and the guy was all trying to plot up on how they're going to attack me. So I'm going to beat everybody in the class. I said, 10 guys, they want to be all of them. So I wouldn't get tired. It wouldn't take me no time to pin them. They couldn't hold me. I guess I always said I was too small for them to get a hold on me, but I would wrap them up and cut them up. So one day, there was this guy came in town, and Al introduced him to us, and he was an editor for the Ring magazine.
Okay.
So with that, we were working all the week, and he was talking to Al. So he's Al's gonna be in the magazine. Al's gonna be in the magazine. So that went on all week long, and so long about Wednesday or something, Bo Taylor is a guy that Al had trained, and they had already started wrestling. It was Bo Taylor and a guy named Wolfie D. So they came up and talked to Al, and then they left. And the next day, because we were going to train every day, the next day, Bo Taylor came back by himself, and he told us, that they was running a town over in Arkansas, and they wanted us to come over.
Right.
And so they were telling Al that they wanted a couple of guys, So Al told them, it was me and Norville Austin. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we broke in together, and so they said, okay, we do that. All right, we'll do that. So they leave, and so Al told us that they wanted us because we was ready to get started. So, but we didn't know anything about wrestling. We were like, oh man, okay. So what do you think? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. So we go to Al, and Al is wrestling rigged or what, And Al, he wouldn't tell you nothing. He just said the wrestler with the golden touch, the superstar of the wrestler.
Yeah.
So, we dumb. What does that mean? I don't know. So we don't wrestle for a day or two.
Yeah.
So we didn't understand. So Bo Taylor came over that Friday of the next week and said, okay, we're going to be in Hughes, Arkansas Saturday night, and want you all to come over to the matches so you can see how it's going on. So we said, okay. They said, come to that door, we'll let you in, and so you all can see.
Right.
So, okay. So when they left, so we still don't know what's going on. We're okay, what do you think? I don't know, man. What do you think? I don't know. All right. So we go from that to we came up with the idea, okay, so we're going down there, but we're not going to let them know they're there. We want to see what they're doing.
Right.
So, because we got to wrestle them that following Tuesday night at Park in Arkansas. So, but we go down to Hughes and we ride down there and we get there. And so we're not going to go. We're going in the front. So we went in the front. We bought tickets.
Right.
And we took in and we sat about 12 rows from the ring. It was an old movie theater that they converted into wrestling. So it's in all over towns over there. So we go there and so on the back tour, they were wrestling the guy. And this guy, one of the guys, his name was, he was going with the promoter's daughter, which you find out later. His name was Larry Latham. Not the Larry Latham with the Moondog. It was
not the Moondog.
No, it's the Larry Latham that grew up over in Hughes, Arkansas.
Okay.
He live out in Bartlett now. We keep in touch. But anyway, so we were wrestling him, and the main event, we're sitting there watching and trying to see if they're pulling anything or whatever. But see, with Al, we knew we were tough because we would get out there and just go ahead, but we still don't understand what they're doing. So when they get in the ring and they're working, come down to the end of the match, Bo Taylor, back Larry in the corner and get him in a long time, just biting him in the forehead.
Yeah.
Then when he stepped back, Bo Taylor had blood on his lips and shit, and Larry was bleeding and shit, and boy, holy shit. So they left him laying in the ring, and Larry was laying with his head towards where we were on the side where all the people were. He he was laying with his head. And so we got to go down to the ring and look, and the blood is coming out of his forehead, boy. And then we turned around and went back out, got in the car, and we left our house. That's what they didn't know that we had business. If they had known we were here, they wouldn't have done that. They tried to trick us so we catch us off guard. Okay. So we ride on back, talked about that all over the back, man. That's why we didn't go in the back door. If we didn't go in the back door, they were probably gonna do all that. They just did that. So they tried to beat us Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So we go on back to the next part. The Sunday we at the arena. So we're over there at the training school. So we're in the back, and then we look up. Bo Taylor's coming in the front door. I thought, yeah, that's fucking okay. So then we just kind of standing together, kind of get ready. So Bo came on up and said, hey, I put you guys doing some down last night. And I said, we were coming, but I didn't get all work today. Okay, well, y'all should be there, okay? So we said a few words, but we was kind of giving him the cold shoulder because we saw how he did that boy last night. So, okay. So he go on back in and he talked to Al. And then when he left, he just came to the back part of the place. Okay, I'll see you guys. I said, yeah, right. Okay, so he left. So then we go in and talk to Al again. Said, come on, Al, what about this? And I said, I told you. The wrestler with the golden touch is the superstar. Okay, so we sit back there a long time just kind of wondering what we're going to do. So we said, well, on Saturdays, on Sunday, Al let us do it. First of all, we're trying to work it like wrestling, but we don't know what we're doing, and we're just knocking the hell out of each other,
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to do it like this. So we go down there. We're going to go Tuesday night. And I bring magazines, with Al. So we talking. He said, I don't know. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. I ain't scared of him. Hell, I'd wrap that truck up in a heartbeat. So he goes on that. So in the Tuesday night, so we go over there. Norvell went with somebody, and I drove my car over there. You go in this old movie theater, and where the old theater was back in those days, they had a stage where the curtain was, and on each side there was a door. On each side you go in and had like a little dressing room. So we're sitting in there, and it's all dusty and dirty and stuff. But hey, this is what the wrestling thing's like. So, and it was about like it at the auditorium. One was the bigger stage, and it was wrestling on the other side of the stage, and the good guys on this side. So. Right. We're sitting there, then the door came open, and it was the guy from Ring Magazine. And I said, hey, where's Al? He said, Al didn't come. I said, so what are you doing here? He said, I'm finishing up my article.
Uh-huh.
I said, so where's Al? He said, Al didn't come. I said, why are you going to do an article about him? He said, I've been here all week getting information on you. I said, what? He said, yeah. I said, wait a minute. He said, well, Al told me that you're going to be you're his best student and you're going to be his superstar. Huh. I said, yeah, right. He said, no, really? No, you got to be kidding. So he talks about it, then he goes on back out. So I was sitting there, and this piece of plywood that keeps you from getting on the stage was nailed. I thought it was nailed to the wall, and the piece of plywood rolled back. And I looked up, and I'm sitting right beside it, coming in on my left side, and looked up, and it's Bo Taylor.
Okay.
Damn. And I jumped up in a fight stand because I'm ready to knock his ass out if he's coming through this thing. I'm thinking he's going to come and jump me before the night starts. So when that went down, and Navi standing back looking, I'm standing back looking, and then the promoter came in and he said, okay, so what's going on with the match? So what y'all going to do? So both said, back in those days, they would book 6 guys on the card. 4 would be in the main event, 2 would be in the semifinal, and 1 off of each team in the main event would go out in the 15-minute opener, and then you have a 2 out of 3 fall, and then you have a main event. Just the one went out in the opener, and they would come back out in the 4-man tag. Right. So we go through that thing, and they say, we're going to do the 4-man tag, and da-da-da. So it's okay, we signed it. Then so he said, so what you going to do? And both said, well, I'll let him take it. And somebody, he's out open up with King Cobra, and I let him take it. And so with that, they said, what y'all gonna do? He said, well, we can work it out in the ring. I said, okay. So Bo go back out, and Bo go back over the other side. And all that standing there. And so I said, man, here, come on. he don't let me take it. Boy, I been taking him off all over the place. So from that, then the way I came up with, let me back up a minute. Al thought I was one of the best students because I could beat everybody. I could just wrap them up and make them submit or something, you know.
Yeah.
Because I was so skinny. But then Al used to, he would try to name everybody. He said, just like Norvell Austin. When Norvell Austin first broke into business, they called him Killer Gorilla. That's what he started out as. And Al would call me the snake. So everybody was calling me the snake. And hell, I didn't want to be no snake. So I went home one evening and looked in the encyclopedia to see what the baddest snake out there. And the baddest snake out there, in my opinion, was the King Cobra. I like it.
Yeah.
So I went back to training that next day and said, hey, don't y'all call me the snake no more. Call me the King Cobra.
Uh-huh.
And then they started calling me King Cobra.
Right on.
So that night, so I went out and worked with Bo, and then we went to the main event. And when we had the main event, we went through the match and everything went okay. So I'm going to let him tag me first, and if he don't hit me hard, I'm not going to hit him hard or whatever. You know, just did some stuff like that.
Right.
And everything worked out fine. So when we come back to the dressing room, the Ring magazine guy was leaving. So he said, I said, are you really going to write about this? He said, yes. So when he was going, we shook hands and we'd see you down the road, and when he got to the door to go out, and then I said, hey, I don't believe you, but if you're going to write about this, be sure and call me the King Cobra, because I don't want to call Mr. Megan myself. Be sure to come and go. He said, okay. So lo and behold, I'd say probably 6 months later, I was roughing over in Hughes Arkansas and stuff, places like that. And one Sunday night, this guy, he called just Jack Graham. He was Larry Latham's partner, not Larry with the Moon Garden.
Yeah.
He was Larry Latham's partner. And he called me one Sunday night about 8 o'clock. I had just gone to bed. And he said, hey, when did you do an article for Ring Magazine? I'm thinking it's real. Oh, man, come on. No, I'm serious. I'm looking at it right now. I said, yeah, right. Yes, I am. I promise you. He lived in West Memphis, Arkansas. He said, I promise you. I said, yeah, right. So he said, okay. I'm looking at it right now. He said, and what is it? Says, look like it's you looking kind of sideways at your muscle flipping somebody. You're kind of looking sideways, you know what I'm talking. And Sam McKay is outside the ring and looking at it. So I'm thinking, he said, okay, the headline say, be sure and call me the King Cobra. I told my wife, I was like, I'll be back. I got out of bed, got dressed, went down to Maine and Madison. There was a little sports magazine store right there, and bought every book they had in there. They have about 7, 8 of them. I bought all of them. when I looked through and saw that, well, I did that. But anyway, I'm just going on and on. So what do you guys really want to know?
No, that's great, man.
I think that was awesome,
story.
Man.
Now, the guy that trained you, Galetto, now, is that the guy that hit the ring and Jerry said he pulled his eyeball out and all that?
It was his brother.
No, that was his brother. That was Mario. Now Mario came over and worked with us. You know, I knew him come over. Mario came over. Tommy Gilbert came over. Tommy had I think Al helped train Tommy, and Tommy came over, worked out with us a few times. Just some of his friends would come by, you know, and work out and see what we know and stuff like that.
Yeah. But so is that story, because I know, and I love Jerry Jarrett, he gave me my break, you know, but I know he embellishes a little bit, and I've heard different versions of that story. Now, the way he told it, he pulled his eyeball out, and it was like rolling around the ring and stuff. What do you know about that story?
I don't know anything about that. I heard that too, but I wasn't there. I wasn't working for Jerry and them at the time. I didn't know them, but I know they Mario came by and told us so, but I don't think they really pulled it out, because Mario came out. I saw him a few times after that. He was married to a lady, they call her Dusty. And I've ridden with him after that, but Mario was the kind of guy, you know, he was always, it's like most old timers back then. Okay, the business wasn't like it is now, and everybody's supposed to be a badass, and he thought he was, or he wanted to be, and
right.
That's just the way he did it, and that's the way he perceived it to be, and and they went like that. But now he did get in the ring. And then they had some heat going for a long time after that.
Yeah.
But I don't think he really pulled it out.
We were kind of talking about that the other day of, how some of the old timers, is it really their memory that makes them change the story a little bit, just from age and headshots and all that kind of stuff? Or do they just like to embellish? And I think it's a little bit of both, but
a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think so.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Support for Live and in Color with Wolfie D is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the Ultimate Men's Hygiene Bundle, the Performance Package. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WOLFIE at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 8 million balls.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
So I'm going to do a rolling hot tag to my man Jimmy across the street. All right, Jimmy, it's time for the hot tag. Come on in, and I know he's got some questions for you, King Cobra.
All right. Thank you, Cobra. And coming in with the hot tag here, the first person I want to talk about, I know you got some stories about Jimmy Valiant, man. I would love to hear you talk about Jimmy Valiant a little bit.
Valiant was always a cool guy, and we've made a couple of trips together. Cause I wasn't a full-time wrestler.
Okay.
That's why I never got really, really big into wrestling, because wrestling gig was hard to come by, and I was the first in my generation and the first in my family, a friend and everything, to get into it. So if you didn't have somebody above you pulling for you, it was hard to get a hold on things. And
yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Probably
still that way.
Yes, within 6 months after I was wrestling, I used to go to Ellis Auditorium every Monday night and to watch Tojo Yamamoto and Johnny Long. They was heels, and I liked them. I thought they were rich and stuff like that, and I wanted to be a wrestler. So then, I'd say 6 months after I got started, we were wrestling in Hughes, Arkansas, same place where Bo Taylor and them blooded the guy and stuff. And so I'm sitting in the dressing room, so we're not making no money, It was really, really scarce back then. So I'm sitting in the dressing room, and then in comes this guy who would kind of run over shoes and I'm sitting there putting my boots, and I look up, and it's Johnny Long. So now I'm looking and saying, now, wait a minute. For the last 2 or 3 years, I've been paying my money every Monday night to go out to the Ellis Auditorium to see him, because I know he told you they rich, But then I'm looking at him and saying, damn, get over here. We're not going to have but 75 people up in here. You going to wrestle over here? And the promoter at that time was Albert Griffin. He's still living. He live in West Memphis over there now. And he was running the town. And so when we got paid, Johnny got the same thing I did. I said, damn. So now I'm working, but I'm just young kids, And this man that I'm working for, he was training me to be shop foreman, and I had the same job for 55 years, but I was making good money. And I was making my living, but I knew me being as a black wrestler, you didn't see a lot of them around. And
yeah.
if I quit my job, I'm going to be struggling with them. Whatever they say is where I'm going. And you know as well as I know, you can be one of the best wrestlers in the world, but if the promoter is not trying to make you, you're not going to make it.
100%. 100%.
So I just knew it was like that. And so I wouldn't quit my job because, so that went on. And Northern was, the only two black guys in this area at the time that was really, really rolling. There was a guy named Rufus Jones that trained with us over at Al, and he got killed right after we got started, maybe like within 6 months. He started working for Jerry and him, and he got killed. Some guy shot and killed him. But so Northern I was the only two in this area, and so, we was booking him. And by us working with Al, so you're not worried about the potatoes and stuff, so we could really make it look, we were really good in the ring.
Yeah.
So everybody was trying to get us because, the white promoters, they got all these white guys, but they were going to go black people, so they would bring in black guys. And Northern and we worked together so long, we were just automatic, We could go out, they would book us in the main event. They would book us in the semifinals because that's where it was. We were the best on the card, but then after we went out in the semifinals, the other guys couldn't follow, because they wasn't as dedicated or they wasn't as talented or whatever. So it was hard to follow our match. So they started booking us in the semifinals, but then they would put the main event on first, then put us on.
Gotcha.
Then some nights they would two promoters running Saturday night, and they both want to use us. And one would say, "Okay, we're going to book him in the main event over here, and you all book him in the main event over there, but we'll put him on second match over here." And they got time to jump in the car and drive to the next town because we was that hot. We was drawing, wasn't a lot of people, but if they wanted to get those little arenas with 7,500 people in them, if we was on the card, it was going to be like that. We was like double shot a lot of nights. Back then, sometimes they would start at 8 o'clock, and we could be on at 8 and get out of there. And the main event at the other time be going on about 9 o'clock. So if you was running like Liable in one place and Zone Bull here, we can make both shots for them,
Yeah. You ever got pulled over in the middle of a double shot? Like you got your gear on and you get pulled over? That ever happened to you?
No, never have.
Me either. I was just wondering.
No, I've never done that.
So, all right, we're going to fast forward just a little bit here because I know we're kind of getting close. I want to talk about, because when I came to Memphis, you were always on Buddy Wayne's show, and I know you and Buddy Wayne were tight, and Buddy couldn't stand me and Jamie. He hated our gimmick. I mean, everything, man. Anytime he got a chance to knock us, but he'd always put us on his shows, but then he'd try to beat us. And I remember one night we had the belts on a Friday night, and we had to go TV next morning. He's trying to tell us to put these guys over on his show, and we were like, "Buddy, we can't do that, man." And he got so mad, he threw his popcorn on the floor and everything, and we ended up leaving. But how'd you and Buddy meet up, and how'd y'all get so tight?
Well, we didn't meet. Buddy was running down, and when I started working for, just like my first, let me make it look better. Okay. Yeah. So I'm working in Outlaw Town, so I'm the champion in just about all of them because I was probably the best thing they had over there. But then, so there was a guy named Chuck Malone, and his name was Cecil McDonald, but then he wrestled Chuck Malone. So he and I used to work together a lot over in Arkansas and Missouri and the towns in Mississippi and stuff like that. And so he started working for Jarrett now. Mm-hmm. And so he was over there for about a month and a half or so, 2 months. And so I had my job, so I kept my job, and then when all got ready to get started, he hooked up with Monroe, and he came to me and he said, "What you think I should do?" I told him he didn't have a good job. My job had benefits and all that stuff, but he was different. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I said, "Man, you're just doing it for festival, just go on and take a chance on it." So he did. So he was out there doing that. And so I had my own company that I was building doors and window guards. And so one Saturday morning, I was in my shop building doors and window guards, and the phone rang. My wife called me to the house, told me that Chuck Malone was on the phone. So I went to Chuck and went on the phone. He told me, "Hey, I got can you come to TV this morning?" "What TV?" He said, Channel 3, Channel 13. I said, "Yeah, right." It's not it. He said, "They need you." I said, "Yeah, right." And he kept begging, and I said, "Okay." He said, come on, because they need you. We can go there right now. So I go out then, and I go to, I pack my stuff and tell my wife I'm going to the TV station, tell the kids to watch it if they want to, but if I'm on, they'll watch this. And okay, so I'm thinking it's going to be real. So I go out there, and I pull up to the place, and I wouldn't even take my bag, and he can feel I only weigh about 175, so I think I'm pretty little, so I go out to the front door, and I go and tell them who I am, so the lady tell me to go in, but I didn't take my bag in because I didn't want the real to make me look like an idiot standing there with some bags, and then, who the hell do you think you are? So anyway, I went in, and I met Lawler in the hallway, and he said, hey, are you King Cobra? I said, yeah. He said, where's your stuff? I said, it's in my car. He said, well, go get it and get dressed right quick, because we're waiting on you. I said, okay, so now I'm thinking, yeah, they waiting on me so they can all laugh at me when I walk in. Like, who the hell is this skinny guy think he's going? So I go back and get my stuff. And I come back and they tell me to get dressed, and they come in and start talking, and then we go to the match, and I go out and I work. And so, I've never done this before, so I just go out and act like it's a house match. Bam, arm dragging and drop kicking and everything. So they like, hey, got to work. So I go and do the job, but then when it's over, I'm getting dressed, and Lord came to me and say, hey, you all right? Can you come back next week? I say, yeah. I said, I guess you want to work with me. He said, yeah. I said, okay. So I came back next week. And then the third week I'm back, Rocky Johnson was just coming in. He and Lawler was doing that boxing wrestler gimmick. Yeah. And I didn't know Rocky. I had never seen him. And everybody was telling me about him. So I just walk in and say, how y'all doing? Sit in the corner over there. And Rocky's over there talking to somebody, and they talking. Because I'm the kind of guy, I don't like jump up and lock off in people. But I didn't speak to him or anything. I just said, how you all doing? And after about 15 minutes, Rocky said, let me introduce myself to this young man over here. And he came over and introduced himself. And so we hit it off, and we was tight ever since. I've gone, when he was living in Florida, I used to go down and spend time with him, just spend holidays with him. And he and his wife would come to town, and me and my wife would go out with him and his wife. And Dwayne would stay at my house because he would stay with my kids, and they'd play until we go out and eat and whatever and come back.
Yeah, that's cool. And
so we're like that now. I had been a while since I talked to Dwayne, but we've always been. If I remember once he came back to the FedEx Forum, and they were in there, and I went down, just went in the back door, and nobody said anything to me. And I looked up, and Dwayne was over there talking to, I guess it was whoever was calling, run the town that night. They got the FedEx Forum, and he just kind of looked at me and he was thinking like, hold on 1 second. So I started over there, and he stopped talking to that guy and walked over and talked to me and said, hey, how you doing, Mr. Cobra? I said, I'm doing fine, Dwayne. How you doing? He said, Mama told me to tell you, if I see you, be sure to tell you she said hi. I said, okay. So,
cool,
we've always been cool.
He ain't buying you trucks like he does Bruno?
No, because he didn't stay with me. He could have.
I know. I'm just
I didn't know he was like that. I didn't know he wasn't struggling or anything, but no, he's always respected me, and because he know me and his dad were real tight,
Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time, man. Jimmy, go ahead. I know you got another question for him.
Yeah. So, if you had, and this is going to be tough because I know you had so many awesome matches, but if you had a gun to your head right now and you had to pick your favorite or best match, what would you say it is?
Well, I don't know what my best match would be. My favorite would be when I won the World Championship from Lawler.
Yeah, I figured. That's a great one.
Yeah. How did that? Tell me that whole story.
Well, it wasn't a big deal. I didn't think nothing of it. It didn't strike to me until probably a couple of years ago how big it was. I just, I've been doing a job for him, So it just asked me, would I do it? And I said, yes. And so, they put the match on. But what made me think it was bigger than what I thought it was, here lately, right now, I'm with, dealing with, we have Memphis wrestling back running again.
Right.
And Dustin Starr, yeah. So he called me. Well, I didn't know Dustin. He told me he talked to me back in the day, but I didn't remember. But then there was a guy just running some towns up in Tennessee called Rodney Grimes, I think. And he asked me to come up there one night, and I went up and made did a shot for him. And I had done several shots, but I didn't want to do them all the time. But anyway, so Dustin was there, and he and I sit back there and talked, and I didn't know anything about him. We just talked. So after that, a few days later, he called me up and told me what he was doing and asked me would I invest in it and be a part of it. And I just, when I got out of wrestling, you know, when Randy Hale and them and all of them running different guys, we didn't click or anything. And
yeah,
I'm the type of guy, I never wanted people to think that I was trying to get, you know, do matches and things, begging for places to wrestle. So I wouldn't hang around because I didn't need it. And I know the guys need the money. It's like, you know, I remember I was down in Louisiana working once, and Randy Ladd sent me to Carolina. Tony was out there, and Tony left. They needed a black guy out there, so they sent me out there. And I went out there and wrestled that Saturday morning, and they liked it and all, you know. And they was like, okay, you know, we like you. We get you settled in. And they said, so where's your stuff? And I just said, right there. I'm pointing at my wrestling suitcase. So they said, no, we're talking about your furniture and stuff. You're moving out here, right? I said, no, nobody told me about it. I'm moving out here. So then they took me in the office. They was pissed because they flew me out there and did 2 shots with them for TV and put me over strong. But I said, no. And they said, well, they talked me in. So, well, you know, you can make $100,000 a year out here. I said, well, I'm making that now. Because I had my job and got all kind of benefits and retirement and everything. Yeah. And I had gotten to this point where, you know, people were flying me in because, you know, I could work. So I was, you know, flying in Louisiana. I was flying down in Oklahoma and flying in Georgia. I just wanted to do it part-time because once you quit your job, you get the merchants, the promoters, and the bookers.
Yeah, for sure.
And I didn't like that. If you don't dance to that music, you can forget it. If you don't laugh at that joke, you can forget it. So when they're in that telling them corny ass jokes, I'm just sitting there looking.
Yeah,
you know, I wasn't hard to deal with, but I just wasn't going to be out there begging and be at the mercy of somebody and make what you want to make and pay me what you want to pay me. And you know, I've seen all this stuff where the guys are making money and you sitting here starving to death. I'm straightforward with business, and I always had my own. I was always shop manager where I was working, and I could have retired when I was 50 years old. You know, I had my own business, and I invented a builder and spray system once that put me over the top, but I just never changed. You know, I don't need a lot of money to flash around and stuff like that. I don't have to do that, but I just felt sorry for the guys. Guys coming here and work, and on the way out, they come to me and hit me up for $300-400 to get enough money to get to the next territory. I said, damn, I can't do that. So that's why I did it my way, and I'm glad I did. But I didn't get the recognition. But when I did work that angle with Lawler, that, you know, put me out there because, like, when they were filming the Young Rock here, there was some WWE guy that was a part of that, and then I was a part of it. I did some stuff for them, and hell, they would just ask me to, even if they didn't have a part for me, they just asked me to be on the set so they could talk to me. Hey man, what was it like when you beat Lawler? How'd that feel? What happened in that?
That's awesome.
So so that's the way it goes. You know? So then when Dustin came along and he asked me about, you know, coordinating with him, and I would have never done that, but I said, well, you know, I see the other guys are still out there, and if I can do him some good, I'd be glad to help him. And so I did it. But it turned out to be very successful.
That's good. That's good.
I put money in it, but then I done got that back 3 times over.
That's even better. But that never happens.
Nobody asked me from the organization to come in, so I feel proud to be a part of that, you know. And I tell Dustin all the time, you know, the only reason I did it.
I tell you, Memphis, in my opinion, out of the places that I've been and all that, and the things that I've heard, Memphis has the most infighting out of any area in the country, in my opinion. I mean, Memphis just fights over, everybody's fighting over crumbs. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
It's ridiculous. You know, And I remember, I can't remember who I was telling this to, but I've said it a lot, is that, that's kind of, even though I had about 3 years under my belt before I got to USWA, it was just, outlaw stuff. But I get there and the culture was, you come back from the ring and, whether they're ribbon or not, somebody's going, well, that was the shits. That was a fucking abortion or, whatever. But then I go up north and I go these other places and, even at WCW one time, we come back from the ring and motherfuckers are standing standing ovations. Good job, guys. Way to go. I'm thinking it was a rib. What in the world? But it's just the culture in Memphis is so different, so weird, negative.
It's like now, we got 2-3 organizations in here running, and I talk to Dustin all the time. It's, don't worry about it, man. And everybody's knocking him. Hey, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this, he's doing that. Some of them trying to get me to come over and work for them. Well, what? I'm working here. I see them on the street sometimes. Hey, man, why you guys over there trying to knock? You're not that good, and it makes you look bad when you're sitting there thinking that you're the best thing out there, and just run your show and let the people decide. I'll also tell you who's good and who's not.
Yeah, for sure. Jimmy, got any last words for him?
Yeah, we just, the one thing I got to ask you, and this may have just naturally happened, but you've seen Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Brown in it, right? I'm sure you've seen that movie. Man. Yeah. Every time I see a picture of you, I think of Jim Brown. You've got that hair, man. Did that just naturally happen like that? Because I think that hair is the best in wrestling, honestly. And I mean that.
The hair running like that in my family.
Gotcha. Okay.
I got a cousin. His dad and my mom was sisters and brothers. And he got a brother. So it's two of them that got it. And it's not as thick as it is now. And mine didn't start off like that. It started a little patch. My mom had a patch like that. Gotcha.
Okay. And I'm not, I think it's awesome. It even adds to your gimmick, man. You know what I mean? It adds. Yeah. It really does.
Well, man, I just want to say, again, thank you for coming on here. I appreciate it. I appreciate the times that I've been able to get in the ring with you, man. Always was a pleasure to work with, and I hope you think the same. Same of me.
Okay, so since you're saying that, okay?
Yeah.
Why don't you come down and do a show with us?
Let's go. I'll do it.
Okay, I'll have Dustin to get in touch with you.
Yeah, man. I'll come down there. I just can't. Here's the thing. I don't know if you know this. I can't work. I can come do an appearance and stuff. I just can't work.
Yeah.
I have my hip. I got my hip replaced and all this kind of mess. So.
Well, we do that, and not all respect. We respect your decision, but we have some people that they don't feel comfortable in coming because they used to work for Lawler, but then Lawler's not working out. It's not like, as far as I'm concerned, it's not like you're working against Lawler.
Right. No, they're not running nothing.
If Lawler was running, I can understand that because if you want to use you, then it'd be different. But we're not in competition like that. We're just trying to give people what they want to see.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And you guys were part of Memphis wrestling, so it's always good to come back and do some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to hold you to that now.
Okay, well, you hold me to it, man. It's cool. I might have to get there and hubcap somebody or something, but I can't work.
No, we bring people in all the time that we don't want you to have to hurt yourself.
Yeah,
I don't either. we can't take care of you and us for the rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah. Sounds good, man. But yeah, man, super appreciate you coming on. And it's been, I've enjoyed your stories and I'd love to hear more one day,
Okay.
So, yeah, man. Awesome stuff. Very awesome stuff.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
man.
much.
So, thank you.
You guys putting me out there.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Take care.
We'll be right back with Ask Wolfie D Anything.
Thank you, Cobra. Appreciate
Thanks, Cobra, man.
Yeah, right on.
Keep in touch, bro.
DJ, hit the music. All right, we are back with Ask Wolfie D Anything. And man, King Cobra's cool, man. What a cool story he's got.
Yeah, I told you, man. Old school, Mississippi guy, man. Just you can imagine what it was like for him trying to break into the business, man.
Oh man, I know, dude. But he had a good time, and it looks like he had a solid career. And heck, man, I think
I really love the part where he seen brother's head bleed, and they walk up and like,
Yeah.
Love that. I could just visualize that. That was funny.
That is funny. It's definitely. Maybe that's the clip of the show right there, So the one thing out of this show is I believe it sounds like you might have picked up a future booking there in Memphis wrestling. So
it's just it's far for me, and it's good. Everything's got to be right. So
dot the T's, cross the I's, right?
Cross the eyes.
Cool. Well, the very first question we got today on Ask Wolfie is from our great listener, Freshie Johnson. Man, Freshie's a good dude. He said that, I heard you guys doing the job for the Road Warriors got you lowered on the card in ECW. If that was the case, my question is, would you have still done the job? If it means anything to you, myself and many others consider that squash match with the Road Warriors as one of the better squash matches. Honestly, it's probably the best squash match if you compare it to the stuff that's been going on for the past 15 years. Anyway, what do you thought about that?
I don't think that that was kind of our thinking at the beginning was, man, we shouldn't do this just because, we thought they were going to, use us well there. And really they weren't. We just kind of were a fill-in on the pay-per-view and stuff. So it wasn't like we had a great spot anyway, but that was just kind of our thinking, man, is we go on here and get smashed. We're the guys in USWA and we didn't want that on us. But then, I've said this before is, who hasn't been beaten by the Road Warriors? And it was our character in WWF at the time was to be just two little, jabroni rapper guys and whatever, man. I don't think it got us lowered on the card. I really don't. If anything, like we'd go up and the fans would give us hell. They'd start chanting LOD, LOD. And so it gave us something to feed off of. It got us. You kind of got us more heat, you know, and we played off of it. And, so if anything, it probably helped us a little bit, so, and saying that too, it was a good squash match. One of the best, it was a squash match, but we made it a good squash match, a memorable squash match. And so, people remember it obviously. And that's why they were yelling at us and it got us more heat. And it worked out. We played it the best we could, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an entertaining match. And, dude, what was it? The great philosopher Jamie Dundee once said that, my God, they beat Jesus, Moses, and everybody. Who are we,
Sure.
But seriously, though, y'all, dude, as much as I love the squash match that y'all did where it was Al Brown and Sonny Rogers, I love that one. But honestly, man, it's the total reverse in this case. But dude, my brother actually asked a question to me, and it was just a side question. He was like, "Do you think Wolfie was he starstruck in the ring with the Road Warriors?" And I was like, "No, because he kind of knew them already, And
it was kind of cool, just being in there with them, and
of course,
wondering, how's this going to be and how's it going to go and how stiff are they going to be? Because we took moves from them. We never had a match with them. And so, they were great, man.
One thing I notice every time I watch it is it looks like, so there's that part where they're going into the ropes with you guys and they're both going to do they've got you in one side of the ropes, and it looks like Hulk goes to the wrong side of you, and you look like you say something to him to straighten him out. Do you remember anything like that?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, honestly.
It looks like they're about to do like a double, like they're going to put you into the ropes, and you're going to run back. And anyway, there's a moment there to where it looks like Hulk goes to the wrong side, and then you're like, say something to him, and you're like, no, this side or something. But
I don't know. There's a double clothesline in the corner or opposite corners, something like that. I don't remember.
No, this was in the kind of in the middle of the ropes. But anyway, next time you watch it, just look for that moment where you and Hawk are beside each other and he's like going to throw you into the ropes. So anyway, yeah. Well, anyway, that's not important, but thank you for that question, Freshie. Definitely appreciate you, man, for all the support you do for the podcast. Definitely appreciate that. This next one is from Brad Freeland on Facebook, and he says, did anyone in the business take you aside at one point and tell you to be smart with your money, aka give you good advice, etc.? No.
Nobody.
Not one soul.
Oh, man. I mean, I guess I might have heard of that kind of stuff, but man, we didn't have those kind of people back then, or at least I didn't hang around them and, didn't know them really, I mean, I'm sure there were people like that. I'm not saying there wasn't, but that wasn't my crowd, and nobody ever really gave me that type of advice. I know there's people now when you get up in the rankings and people try to give you advice and stuff about a lot of things, but no such luck here. And I mean, I don't know that I would have listened at that point in my life.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have had somebody to try to do that. Most of the people that I hung around were, party people.
Yeah. They're like, spend your money, Wolfie.
Yeah. Hey, you got
sleep when you're dead. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, hey, I'm just trying to think of who would, because I know Lawler kind of stuck to himself and he wasn't really that kind of guy to give advice like that. Doug and Tommy for sure wouldn't be those guys. No. Danny Davis was more of an in-ring teacher, right? Like, it's not like.
Yeah, he didn't. I didn't ride with him, and only rode with Jeff a handful of times. But those were really just conversations, and it's funny because Jeff would. You would think it would be the opposite, but Jeff kind of was the person that Jeff would ask me questions.
Yeah,
not really about wrestling, just picking my brain about my life and things like that. Man, it's just kind of funny.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I mean, that's good too. You got to have the normal camaraderie. And sometimes, like you said, if you're not willing to receive it, even though they say it, it doesn't matter because you're not. Your mind's not open to it right now. So, Anyway, well, thank you for that question, Brad. Definitely always appreciate the support as well from you, man. You always hook us up with shares and likes and stuff. So thank you for that. The very last question today on this version of the King Cobra Ask Wolfie D Anything is from John Mark Saw, a.k.a. Saw John on Twitter. And this is a cool question. You may have answered this, but I want to hear it again. So who was the best pure wrestler you ever faced?
I mean, Danny Davis is damn good, man. Danny was really good. I mean, because Danny could do anything.
Yeah.
And then you got he was real green, but you knew Kurt Angle could go when I was pure wrestler. And during that time too, what's his name? Oh man, he passed away. Wrestled for Power Pro, but he was under contract with WWE's developmental. Oh man, I can't call his name right now. Was it Steve something? Oh, hell here.
That's not ringing any bells, brother. What am I?
He was really good. Oh man, somebody will think of it. He was on Power Pro at the time right when I was there. Can't think of his name. He was really good. Anyway, Spike Dudley was a really good, just raw wrestler.
I mean, George Weingroff.
Oh yeah. I'm just thinking of people that could go out there and just exchange with you without really no talking or nothing, a lot of, man, I've been in the ring with so many good people. Flash, Trash. Man, there's just so many guys that, in my time there that just, when you say raw wrestler, I just think of guys that could go out there and chain wrestle with you and just grab something and, it might be one word or something and everybody's just on the same page and knows what to do right there,
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of pre-planning that goes into it. There's feeling the crowd and knowing when to just stop or knowing when to, walk and talk, man.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot. There's a whole lot. Like I said, I've been lucky, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure guys like BC, Tracy Smothers, so many guys could,
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you are lucky, and you have been lucky to work with the guys you got to work with, man. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So
no, just hard. And even like Brian was a great entertainer and a great wrestler, but like when you say raw wrestler, it just makes me think of more like people that could exchange holds.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And reverse and this and that. And really it's almost like a shoot, but it's you're shooting, but you're just giving each other stuff,
Right. Yeah.
I never really did that with Brian per se,
Gotcha. Okay.
That,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Just mat-based wrestling, right? Just getting after it.
Yeah. And then even still, I still consider, a headlock and a tackle off the rope still being part of that, and getting something again where you really don't have to say much, just boom, 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 boom. Yeah. You can still use ropes a little bit, but
yeah,
just quick stuff that should be something you ain't got to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like that, man. That's a good answer. I think you got it right there. So there is one more thing that I want to address, and it is based off of a question, but it's a question that I'm not really going to ask because we've asked you this before. But there was a couple guys who posted a question asking about a certain Batista's large member, whatever, how big it is. So, hey, it's funny. We get it. Ha ha, laugh. I know it started in one podcast. It's gone to another podcast, been on a YouTube channel, whatever, wherever it started. So officially, you do not know, nor do you care, right?
I absolutely do not. I have no clue. And I actually, before you had told me about that, I kept seeing that myself. And I was like, why do they keep asking that?
Why do they care?
I looked it up, and then I found the same thing you found, is that it originated somewhere else, and still really don't know what the whole humor of it is. But I don't have a clue, man. Not as big as mine is the answer. No. I don't know if that's true or false, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe it's just better not knowing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah. I mean, my life is awesome with or without that knowledge. So.
Yeah. That's all I need.
And so in the future, guys will probably just ignore that question. But the answer officially is he doesn't know.
Yeah, I know.
You didn't meet gays. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever been around him in that situation. So.
Okay. So, yeah, even though you were with him in OVW, you may not have been near him or whatever. You are not a Batista pecker checker. We'll end it at that. So, yeah. Well, that's all I got, brother. I just wanted to address that question that we're never going to be able to answer because I'm glad you can't answer that, So.
Yeah, me too.
And you know what's funny is if you did know and it was just like super not impressive, then you would be like, man, I don't want to throw a boy under the bus, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a movie star.
I'd probably still tell you I didn't know.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, anyway, so thank you for all the questions, guys. And that is all I have for today, brother.
Cool, man. So coming up, not next week probably, but real soon, we got the Tracy Smothers tribute episode coming up. We hope that's going to be awesome. We know we've got a bunch of videos in and audios in already and all this kind of stuff. So
getting more every day too.
Everybody be gearing up for that because it's going to be awesome. So
yeah, definitely.
We're working on something for next week. So tune in next week and we'll holla.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all. And all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Gene Jackson here, inviting you to join us for the Retro Wrestling Review Podcast, where each week I'm joined by guest co-host to review and discuss old school pro wrestling. Right now we're doing week-by-week reviews of USWA Memphis from 1993. We have an audio version of the podcast as well as a video version if you want to check out the clips of the show we're talking about. It's a lot of fun, so for this and a lot of other great wrestling content, check out WrestleCopia.com. That's WrestleCopia.com.
Hey, it's the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze, and I'm inviting all of y'all to join me on my brand new podcast, Turning Up the Heat with the Heat Miser Scotty Blaze. So what are you waiting for? Come on over and join me. I'll be covering all the events of the day, global, national, pop culture, movies, gaming, whatever sounds interesting. But I'll also be playing some awesome skating shuffle music from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Anything that has a good beat, I'm going to be playing it. You can rest assured. Come on over, TUTHradio.com. The podcast is on every major podcast platform. See you then.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at WarrenWolf13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
He
got a cap for your dome.
And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color. Bum rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was NOD, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip hop. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks and Obi-Wan for later. Now here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. When I finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. Huh. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome. We got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.